Hi, in this video I would like to talk about the importance of finance and real options in the history of Kone. And I would like to kick off this presentation by using Pekka Herlin's words that you have to be senile to let money lie in the bank and not find any use for it. Pekka Herlin was certainly one of the significant and important figure in the history of Kone who took the business to the next level and who made the Kone one of the leading escalator and elevator enterprises known all over the world. Based on the book, I selected multiple keys of company success. For instance, the use of shares, secondly, investments, third, acquisitions, and the final key of success is related partially to the third one, which is the creation of new companies after the acquisitions and its selling further. Regarding the shares, I selected two of the examples to highlight the rational use of shares. For instance, B-class shares from 1968 onwards were openly traded on the Helsinki Stock Exchange, while A shares were not listed on the stock. Since 10 B shares allowed its holder to one vote, however, each Class A share allowed the holder to have one vote. Basically, all A shares were mostly kept within the family. Another example of the successful use of shares was done in 1996 when Kone purchased ONK escalator business from Krupp. And during this deal, Kone gave 10% of A shares as well as B shares to Krupp, which represented a significant voting power in Kone. Despite the fact that shares were used, Pekka Herlin, he still knew how to stay control of the company. In this slide, we can see the timeline of some of the investments done by the company. For instance, we can see that Kone invested money into the development of the business, for instance, into the development of crane, motor factories, elevator factories, and so on. Additionally, Kone invested into the R&D, production machinery, technology, management, and worker training in order to have a competitive advantage of the market. For instance, one of the successful application of financial resources into the R&D is the creation of Kone Monospace, introduced in 1996. In this slide, we can see the timeline of some of the significant acquisitions done. For instance, in the beginning in 1968, SAS Business Elevator company was acquired by Kone, which allowed Kone to become the leader in North Europe. In other words, the market in Sweden, Norway, and Denmark was open for Kone. As we can see that almost every year, if not every second year, companies acquired large, medium, or small-size enterprises, which allowed the company to extend its position on the market. For instance, Kone's got the access to the market of Spain, the US, Austria, France, and so on. In 1974, there was one of the important acquisition deals conducted with the Westinghouse European elevator company, which allowed Kone to boost their sales nearly double from the previous year as the result of this acquisition. Additionally, in 1994, there was a deal with the Montgomery Elevator Company, which allowed the company to push the business further to India and China. In 2002, there was an acquisition done with the Partec, a Finnish cargo handling conglomerate, which allowed the Kone to also took over the market in the cargo industry. However, we should not forget about the creation of new companies and how they were sold later on. For instance, in 1992, Kone sold its marine cargo access division and other companies as well, other divisions as well, in order to refocus as a pure escalator and elevator company. Moreover, in 1995, Kone instruments were sold, and in 2005, Kone Corporation was split into two separate companies such as Kone Corporation and Cargotec Corporation, and Cargotec Corporation was formed by Esquire 3 of the companies, which again allowed company to become the leader not only in the elevator and escalator industry but also in the cargo industry. Nowadays, Kone Corporation is an international company with the annual net sales of 9.9 million euros, featuring a large number of products. And perhaps if a certain number of investments and bold actions and acquisitions were not achieved by Pekka Herlin in the 60s, 80s, and later on, Kone perhaps would not be one of the most powerful global Finnish company and one of the leading escalator companies known worldwide. Also, I would like to add that Pekka Herlin knew that if a company needed to survive on the market and not look for a higher bidder, then acquisitions was one of the bold action and bold step to grow the company and to take over the market and expand its opportunities with other countries, not only in Finland but also with other countries, and push its business further. Thank you.